We're going to start our meeting, ladies and gentlemen, of the Judicial Committee. This is October 10th, 2024. And the first thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. Any comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Public comment? Any public comment? Available here? Seeing none, we'll continue. The Judicial Commission office has a couple items here. They want to move one person from part-time to full-time. Stacy, would you come up and, well, I was gonna have you sit in that chair. Sit in that chair.
Okay.
We'll entertain the part-time to full-time first.
Okay. So Jenny White is part-time with our office. She hasn't been with our office that long, but she's shown a lot of growth. She is a good employee. She's a dependable employee. I reached out and asked the judges if they had anything against her, and neither one did, Tatum or Lee.
They have anything for?
That's what I was gonna ask.
They said they have nothing. They have not heard any. I said no news is good news.
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna go with.
Okay.
But I would like to move her to full time.
Okay, and at what level, same level she is now?
Yes.
A level?
Yes.
And for how many years? 1 year, 2 years?
I thought we were all going to the 2-year appointments.
Yeah, how long have you been part-time?
I started in July.
Okay. Are you comfortable with 2 years?
I'm comfortable with 2 years if you guys are comfortable.
Okay. Any other comment from anyone?
Do you want to ask
How
her
much
questions?
closer does this get you to full staff as far as your full time?
I have 2 full-time slots. I'm asking tonight that y'all recommend her for one and David Williams for the other. Then, once she moves from part-time to full-time, we'll have 1 part-time slot left and we'll be fully staffed.
I didn't know.
That come in? Entertain a motion?
Motion to approve for 2 years?
Second.
Any other discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. Congratulations. We'll send that to the full commission coming up, and they will vote at that time.
When's the county
For your
commission?
appointment.
The 21st.
Yeah.
21st, so you'll have to come.
Okay, the next one would be a full-time Mr. David Williams. He worked in the office from February 2018 to March 2022 as part-time for about 4 years. And he's been a police officer for a number of years, I understand. And you have any questions for Mr. Williams? This is him right here.
This is David Williams. He worked for Metro for
30 years, retired as a police lieutenant with Metro National Police Department. Glad to be here in Wilson County, my fellow Wilson County citizenry. Thanks for having me here from Nashville.
And you worked for Lebanon Police
I
Department?
did work part-time for Lebanon for 2 years as a part-time officer, enjoyed that very much. But I'm glad to be here and thanks for having me.
He's very well versed in the law.
Lady, one time.
He's very well versed in the law. He can teach very well. In the 4 years that he worked, even though my tenure's almost 20 years, he taught me a lot.
Okay.
I know his worth and I want to bring him in at his level 6.
Okay. Now, level 16 is the highest. That's full. And level 6 is, I don't know.
How much time did you have as a commissioner earlier as far as a part
So I
time?
had 4 years, sir.
Now, would he be making more than full-time that you have now? Any full-time?
He would be making more than one person, but and I know that the pay study changes things, but if you look at his history and what he's bringing to the table, it is considerable. And I feel like to retain employees, you have to pay employees. They don't come to work to look at me, so.
They don't?
You talking
So,
about grade, right?
yes, I'm talking about pay grades, and
The highest paid grade is 16.
that's right.
You wanna bring them at 6. Every year they go one. I just wanna let you know.
I just don't
It
think,
doesn't matter to me.
I don't think me and Williams will even be here in 16 years, so.
No, I understand that.
Or,
Yeah,
you
I
know, or none
understand.
of.
My dad lived in '94,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, so.
Okay, and before he was not on the retirement plan either, but this would be what he'd be on. That's
Do you-
full time.
Do you have the funding in your budget currently?
I do.
Perfect.
Motion approved for 2 years.
Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Folks, congratulations.
Thank you.
And again, we'll take you to the commission, the one coming up in a week and a half, where the full vote of the commission.
Thank you very much.
So we're bringing him in at 6. Y'all did.
It's
approve
up
that.
to you, it's up to you.
Yeah,
Well, I
thanks.
think that as long as that falls within the.
It wasn't
Well,
recommended by HR, but again, I
Yeah,
have
I
that
think
much
that-
confidence in
right.
him, and I think that's where,
I think my understanding is wherever he would come in at, that you're allowed to bring him in at, and HR would.
HR will go along with
Direct
what
that.
you say. But, and your
I mean, I
decision to
understand-
bring him in at that is fine, I think, based on his experience, even though he hadn't been a commission, but part-time for 4 years.
right, right,
Especially since you have the funding in your budget already.
I do. I do.
Now, we have on here yet a budget amendment, you wanted to
I
delete
don't, I
that.
do not have a budget.
Okay,
amendment.
you
Yes,
changed
I
that.
started out with $4,000 and I came down to 1,600 and I got it down to $279. So I do not need an
Okay,
amendment
very
on
good.
budget.
Okay,
So,
so any other comments you have for the committee?
no, everything is great.
So
I
you'll
have
have
not
a full
had any
contingent.
bad feedback.
Okay, good, you'll have a full contingent of full county,
Yes.
and you need one more part-time.
One more part-time, person and we're completely fully staffed.
Okay, are you okay with overtime pay, since you have so many people now? You probably
Yes,
have less overtime, right?
I know what that budget amount is and we're good. We're not close to it at all.
Okay, very good,
And I know I've got till July, but we're not close to it at all.
okay, very good. Thank you very
Yes.
much, I
No.
appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, the next thing we have on is, Ms. Betsy, Council, she, there she is. She has a budget amendment, I'm not familiar with what it is.
I don't know if you have it under probation, but it's actually juvenile services.
So, what is it?
It's for juvenile services.
Juvenile, okay, juvenile services.
Juvenile service, we're gonna come busy here, Rich.
Yeah. We'll talk about that, actually. Do you need?
Okay.
So I'm requesting an additional $14,000 to put into our juvenile services travel line. And there's a few reasons for that. I'm sure that you guys have heard about the rash of felony threats and mass destruction that's been going on this year. And we had a team meeting about it and decided that we just need to become more aggressive with our supervision in general. We haven't had the staffing in the past to go in pairs to do home visits and school visits, and not just with these cases, but with all of the cases that we supervise. We're wanting to get out in the community more and do more home visits and school visits to see like the entire picture of what's going on with his kid, because we only see so much in the office and parents on the phone and stuff. So we're needing the additional funding to do that. Also, last year we hired a resource coordinator who also does our SOAR programming. And she has started a new SOAR program at Rutland, which is in Mount Juliet. We have 2 other team members that help for that. So they're making treks to Mount Juliet a lot. It's every week actually, along with the Walter J kids that we see. So that makes us need more money for our travel as well. Also, we're on call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, holidays, we're never off. And so when someone gets called into the office, they get mileage from their home to work. And our cases so far this year are up by 158. Obviously, all of those don't happen after hours, but a lot of them do. And so it's not unusual for someone to be on call, come to the office, go back home, get called again, and so that's happening more and more. And so we need the extra mileage for that as well. Also, there's a lot of trainings that we could use in conferences, and we have to be real selective on what we can do because we don't have the money in our budget. And so basically, we've just outgrown the line. Is the bottom line of that.
And, excuse me, do you get paid for this when you're on call?
Only when you're on call.
Not during the day?
No, just because, you know, you might get a call at
Right, I
11
understand.
PM and then, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah.
Who has the call schedule? Sheriff's Department, dispatch?
Right.
I actually do, and I can get it to anybody who needs it.
Okay, but like if an officer were to call in.
They call dispatch and they call us.
Okay.
On a pager still, right?
Not a pager anymore.
That, you mean you're growing, you're afraid to have pagers, aren't you? I'm fine with that.
Unfortunately, I remember the page.
Probably where the money came from, but they're still on pagers.
Okay, so you wanna go from 6 to 20
Yes, sir.
out of the general fund, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a budget amendment for your finance or?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
You've got,
Of course she does.
I figured you would.
I didn't want to interrupt, guys. I'm sorry.
I don't think, anybody would argue
Yeah.
if you just watch the news or read
Oh,
the
yeah.
papers of what's going on in Wilson County. I know Jeremy's been quite busy himself dealing with the threats and everything we've had to deal with, so I think it's a needed thing, and this is gonna be just a drop in the bucket to what we're gonna be paying out, looking at juvenile detention and holding, and so.
I'm glad you said that. So I just attached that second page, just kind of FYI, I'm not asking for anything, but I think that's something that's gonna have to be dealt with. It's complete pretty soon, so I just wanted to let you guys know that there's an increase in all of our charges and we're having more and more trouble getting kids in detention, and so don't know what we're gonna do with
will this require more people eventually to,
more
people?
employees for our
Yes,
department.
that's what I'm, or what.
And possibly a facility.
Right.
We're still transporting Atlantic and Franklin all the
No, not just Franklin, going to Blount County, Putnam,
Right.
we're sending them all over the state right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat my words a little bit. Jeremy and I had a conversation just about juvenile detention, and I said, I don't think it'll ever happen here. But I think we're
We're at the
we're
verge.
edging, because the problem is, we can't find beds, so.
Right.
And no one's certified, so even if we could travel all the way to, Johnson City or where, I mean, there's a regional facility up in Johnson City, but that's an overnight trip. So, right, I mean, you can't hold them in the jail, so it's another thing we're gonna have to look at down the road, at least getting something certified that has a few beds in it, so.
For a juvenile to get detained, they've done something heinous to require it. And
Right.
if you see what we said, 7 kids that we had to release them, they needed to be in juvenile detention, and nobody in the state of detention.
How many did you actually send to a facility last month, in September?
Do we have that, Sandy?
I don't have the stats for September, but it was big.
So these statistics that you're talking about, more than last year, are we talking about like last fiscal year? Or are you talking last calendar year?
Up until,
It's last calendar year.
Okay, I was just trying to make sure I understood the stats. So we're talking 24 versus 23.
I make a motion, we approve
Yeah.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Folks? Okay, that, do you have any other old business? Mike, do you have any business?
No.
Any business? Motion to adjourn? Thank you. Thank you.